Hey everybody, it's Mickie Giacomini, your host for Let's Talk Shop. And you know, we are in the middle of the season of stress. So we have a series going on to help all of you manage your stress during the holiday season. So today we have brought back one of our favorite guests, Darcy Geho. She's here from Preserving My Sanity to help preserve your sanity during the holiday season. She's got some really great tips and tricks. So let's go ahead and welcome her on. Hey, Darcy, how are you?
Hi, Mickie. I'm doing great. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fantastic. And I know you've got some really great tips for us about holiday gift giving. So what can you share?
Well, as you know from my blog, I do a lot of food preservation. So every fall and winter, what I like to do is actually make some canned things to give as gifts. So usually what I do in December, first part of December, is make a few batches of different flavors of mustard and actually a couple of different flavors of jam as well. So I like to make those and give those as gifts.
So are you talking about mustard from scratch?
Yeah. I have a couple of different flavors I like to make. I really like mustard a lot. So I make two kinds of beer mustard. I make a tarragon Dijon mustard, a blueberry mustard, and a cranberry mustard. And then usually for the those are the kinds I made last year, and I can't even really tell you which one's my favorite actually. But I usually make
wow, those.
So.
Oh my gosh, they sound amazing. Tarragon mustard, blueberry? I mean, I've never heard of those. I'm like, we go to the grocery store to get our mustard out here in Northern California, and we're lucky to find, honey mustard and Dijon mustard. Oh, maybe some spicy brown. It's like, woo, we're getting fancy. So, I mean, tell me more about those. I'm intrigued.
Sure. Well, all of the recipes that I use are based on safe canning recipes. So they're approved and everything. As you know, mustard's got a lot of vinegar in it, so that's kind of what makes them safe to make. But I have a few jars here to show you. This, let me see. This one actually is the blueberry mustard. I don't know if the color will come through, but you see how dark purple it is? I think it's so pretty. And I wanted to share how I package the jars too. So like this jar has a cupcake liner on top of it, and then the ring is over top
clever
to keep the muffin paper on. And then I just tie a little ornament on there and a label. So some of the things are since they are a little bit unique, it's kind of a nice idea too to put some serving suggestions on here. Like if I give this to somebody, they might not have any idea what they're supposed to do with blueberry mustard. So, it's kind of
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing to do with blueberry mustard?
Actually, what I like to do with it mostly is for turkey sandwiches. It's really good with like spinach and cheese and turkey on a sandwich. That's primarily how we use it actually. So kind of the same way with the cranberry mustard. The cranberry mustard is good on turkey sandwiches too.
Oh my gosh, both of those sound so delicious and unique. So is that like pretty common from your neck of the woods?
I don't think so. I'm in a couple of canning groups on Facebook, and so a lot of the ideas I come up with just from seeing other people post about them and talk about them. The tarragon Dijon mustard actually is kind of a take on a mustard I had at the Biltmore in Phoenix a few years ago. The Dijon mustard itself is a recipe from bulk canning, and you can actually add dried herbs to canning recipes without affecting any safety. So the Biltmore has tarragon Dijon mustard. That's amazing. And I wanted to try to make some. So I used the bulk canning recipe for Dijon, and I just added dried tarragon into it. And so it looks like this.
Okay,
so you can see that, but you can see the tarragon in there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of fun. It's just something a little different. This one I actually decorated the top with some burlap. So this is just a little ring of burlap fabric. And then I tied it, put a little ornament on there. So again, you can see there's a couple of different ways that you can decorate them.
So cute and so clever. Oh my goodness. I think just about everybody I know is probably going to get mustard from me this year. It's I sometimes grow mustard out in the garden.
Oh,
So can you, I mean, I never thought to let it flower and use the seeds to grind my own mustard. I mean, do you do that? Or please tell me you at least buy your mustard seeds and stuff.
it would be one step further than what I do. Yeah. I actually, I get my mustard. The recipes use either whole mustard seeds or ground mustard. Sometimes they use both. And last year I bought all of my supplies from Penzi Spices. Penzi Spices are really high quality and they're all gluten-free, and so they're really good quality. And they have two kinds of mustard seeds actually. They have yellow and brown, and then they actually have some spicy ones too. So that's kind of where I get all of my stuff. So.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. I would have never thought that you could make.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say you could probably grow and dry your own and make it from that if you wanted, but I just buy them in this case.
I would have never, ever thought about making my own mustard, but wow, what a great gift. Very unique and very thoughtful. Now, I also know that you have a jam that you make at Christmas time. I think you call it your Christmas jam, right?
I do. Yep. I have it here too. It's right here actually. So the Christmas jam is kind of fun. It's all of the jams I make are actually low sugar. I use Pomona's pectin for all of my low sugar jams. I use about half as much sugar as traditional recipes. But the Christmas jam is kind of fun because it has cranberries, strawberries, some orange, and then it has like cinnamon and cloves and stuff. So it gives it kind of a Christmas holiday feel. And then this jar is decorated with a piece of plaid fabric that I cut on the edges. So you can see just another way there that you can decorate the jar up. So there's some kind of fun ways you can decorate them. And you also probably noticed I had two different size jars here. I kind of prefer to gift the little 4-ounce jars for a couple of reasons. It's so much work to do the canning, as you guys know, and so I hate to think about, maybe I give somebody a jar of tarragon Dijon mustard and it turns out they hate tarragon. Well, they're not going to tell me that. But what they might do is throw it away, and I just hate to think about that. So when I give them a small jar, then at least if they don't like it and they throw it away, it's not a lot that's wasted. And then also I can give them a couple of different flavors. So I can give them a bag or a basket with 3 jars in it so they can taste a few things instead of giving them 1 pint of jam or something. And then I also sometimes I do the 8-ounce jelly jars too, because I know certain people like certain things, certain family members. Like I know my grandma's going to eat every ounce of whatever I give her. So like for her, I would give her a larger jar, and I know she's not going to waste it, for example. So that's kind of how I do it for size wise.
That's funny. I can relate to that. I remember one year I had made a bunch of jams and jellies, and my dad in particular, one of his most favorite snacks in the whole wide world is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And his birthday was coming up. So hand on heart, I really did. One of the jars I got the big 32-ounce, okay? And I filled that sucker up, man, full of, I think it was pomegranate jelly, if memory serves me correct. And so I gave him that and a big old jar of his favorite peanut butter, and I wrapped it up.
Nice.
And I think it's the best gift ever.
I bet he loved it.
Yeah, but for everyone else, I agree with you. And it's not just the food waste thing. I think the smaller 4-ounce jars are just more gifty looking. They look cuter. They just look a little more special because they're not the same size that you see at the stores all the time. So they just look a little special. And I like the variety idea. So one of the things that's so cool that you're sharing this is, some people are going to be like, well, wait a minute, doing all that canning and stuff, that's a lot of work. You're telling me that's going to bust my stress? Well, yeah, it will, because it's an investment in your time, actually maximizing your time, because you just go at it in one day. You can it up, get all your jars all prepped and ready to go, and then you're done. So you've got all these little gifts. I think.
That's how I do it. I usually just make a big day of it when I do it. And one other thing I wanted to mention too is, you know, if anybody listening, if you don't can, if you're not interested in canning, there are things you can make too and put in jars to gift the same way. One year I actually got a big jug of local honey, and I poured the honey into small jars like this and decorated the jars up, and I put the name of the farm on there and everything. You could
That
make...
is so clever. So clever.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Yeah, or you can make things like hot cocoa mix or spice mixes, or, you know, anything like that. I mean, you can put all kinds of things in jars. So don't just think, you know, oh, I don't want to can, I can't do any of that. So, you know, you can put anything in a jar almost. So
that's right. You can do it.
That's right.
And I like that they're such handy gifts. I mean, you know, where a lot of us are going to all these different events, and we've got, you know, so we have parties, and then we have unexpected gifts that we need to be giving. And if you have something going on at your own home or whatnot, you've got something to give people. So I don't know. I think they make great hostess gifts and gift gifts, and they're just handy. And if you don't use them all, oh well, right. They're not going to go to waste in my house.
I actually ate some blueberry mustard for lunch today, so yeah, it doesn't go to waste if you don't give it away.
So let's go back to that Christmas jam, because I'm really looking forward to making that. I'm actually fixing to make pomegranate jelly in the next 2 weekends. We've got it picked, and it needs to set so that we can juice it down, because we all know that is a pain. I will be honest, that one is a pain, but others are pretty easy. And it's just the squeezing. But I'm really wanting to make your Christmas jam. So what do you serve your Christmas jam with? Peanut butter?
Yeah, it would work with peanut butter. We can, sometimes we like mix it with a little bit of maple syrup and have it like on pancakes or waffles. It would be good on scones or biscuits, you know, things like that. So honestly, I usually give almost all of the Christmas jam away, so I don't actually eat a lot of it myself. Last year, I worked in an office, and I took a whole basket of all the different mustards and the Christmas jam to work with me and let everybody pick what they wanted, and almost everybody took the jam. So, you know, it's popular. Everybody really likes it. I think it just kind of feels like Christmas. So my husband and I have made drinks before with it too. Like if you take a drink with like ice and liquor if you want, and Sprite or sparkling water, and you can just put like a teaspoon of the jam in there. Makes it really pretty and gives it kind of an extra flavor too. So just another idea.
Okay, now that's a tip. Oh, that's a really great tip. Oh, I'd never thought of doing something like that. Yeah. That's really good. Do you ever make truffles, chocolates, the chocolate truffles at all? Because I was thinking it might make a good filling for those of you out there that like to make truffles.
Or like thumbprint cookies. If you give holiday cookies away, it would be good to make like thumbprint cookies or something, or Linzer cookies, and use it for the jam part of those. I mean, that would be really good. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry now. I am so hungry. Hey, is this episode over so I can go eat? Just kidding. Well, before I let you go, and I'm so glad that you came on today to share these tips about some easy holiday gift giving, I want to know, what are your tips for success in just busting stress during the holidays?
Sure. Well, I try to keep the holidays pretty simple. My husband and I don't have any kids, so I guess that helps to keep it a little bit more simple. But I try to do shopping throughout the year. I try not to save everything to the end. I'm not one of those people that has to rush out on December 23rd and buy things at Walmart. You know, I don't really do that. So I try to just plan ahead, and I keep like a box, you know, in one of my closets that has gifts for people that I know this is what I want to give so-and-so. So I do that. And then, yeah, like you said, you know, making the big batches of things so you have a lot of small gifts ready to go is really helpful. And I wanted to actually, I guess this is kind of along the same lines as stress busting, but I wanted to mention too, if you're wanting to give gifts of this and you just want to give somebody something a little bit more, you know, you can make the batch of this, get all your jars ready to go. I would go ahead and just decorate all of them at once too. You know,
Oh,
don't go to a party and say, oh, I have to decorate one jar for this hostess and let me do that. And you pull everything out and you decorate the jar. Don't do that. Make all your jars, set a few aside for yourself that you want to keep, and then just decorate the rest. Spend a couple of hours, you know, making them all pretty. This one has wrapping paper on top. Decorate all of them so you're ready to go. So when you need a gift, you can just grab it and go to your party or go wherever you're going. And then another thing is there's some other packages that you could make too with the gifts. Like if you want a larger gift for like a parent or a grandparent or something, there's things like you could package up like a jar of the Christmas jam we talked about, and maybe a scone pan and a cookbook, or maybe you give somebody a jar of apple butter with a bottle of whiskey and some whiskey glasses if they like to drink. Maybe a couple of kinds of mustard and a cast iron pan and some local bratwurst from the butcher, things like that. So just kind of think outside the box, and there's ways that you can package these things up to make them more gifty instead of just, you know, a jar of something. So that would be.
Oh yeah, I mean, those are great ideas. You're making it an even bigger gift basket that way. So very thoughtful, great tips. Thank you so much for coming back on and sharing. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me today.
You're welcome. We hope to see you soon because I know you always have great tips, so we'll have you back on again soon.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Darcy.
Goodbye.
Bye. So, if you are somebody who'd like to be a guest on Let's Talk Shop, we want to talk to you, so contact us today. Remember, at Let's Talk Shop, we're all about success, but we're talking about success in all different kinds of ways, shapes, and forms from all types of people, all walks of life. So contact us today and let us know about what you'd like to share on Let's Talk Shop. Now, if you're wondering what my favorite stress buster is for the holidays, well, I got to tell you, I have a great book that I'm going to put the link on for you in the description of this episode, and it's called Surviving the Holidays. That's right, because I believe humor is one of the best stress busters ever. So, and that book is written by yours truly. So I'll put the link in the description today. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Bye-bye.